Welcome back to Range Anxiety TV, and today we're going drag racing. Or as the commentator says in Adelaide, drag racing. Be there. Now, it's been a little while. I've had the Tesla Model 3 Performance, as you all probably know, for I hate to tell you, about 11 months now. And I haven't made it to the track. So the very first thing to do with the car, or any car, if you're looking to develop bits and pieces for it, or just undertake general shenanigans, is to baseline it. Where are we starting? Now, those of you that remember and look back through the history, maybe we can put a link up there, maybe not. I took my old Model 3 Performance, the old shape, to the track year or so, or year and a half, or 18 months ago, baselined it, and it ran 11.55 at 116 mile per hour. So let's just say 11.5 at 116. I'm not going to get into nitpicking here. So I got cajoled by Gareth to take my new car to the track, and so I did. 100% standard. I did the normal thing. I drove it from the tollgate in Adelaide up the freeway, 100 kilometres, 110 kilometres, to the Bend Dragway, which is a beautiful place. Plugged it into the Tesla supercharger, got the battery up to about 98%, so I just couldn't be bothered waiting anymore, and then proceeded to sit around all day lining up for runs. Because as you can see from the video up there, it turned out to be the busiest day in South Australian off-street drag racing history. Beautiful weather, big turnout. In 8 hours I got 2 runs. That is not the Ben's fault. It's just that drag racing is so popular, and why shouldn't it be? It's a bloody lot of fun and it's good value. And anyway, I spoke, talked some crap to people, had some fun, made some enemies, as you're going to see. Unfortunately, did not mean to, but that's what happens when you drive a Telstra. You make enemies, right? So got it into the high 90s and ran into a guy there who had an early model, same as my old girl, maybe a year or two later, but it was the early gen Model 3 Performance versus the late gen Model 3 Performance. Now, we could not line up side by side. That was a bit unfortunate because of just so many people and staging lanes everywhere and people jumping. It was just a nightmare, but, fun. He ran, and I didn't see him because he was behind me. I ran first up against Gareth's brother-in-law, Jake, in his 1-tonner LS on the juice, on the gas, the nitrous oxide, like Mad Max's V8 Interceptor, but not quite as good. It ran 10.8 at like 128 or something, and he beat me. He was quicker off the line. He's quicker everywhere. It's a pretty nicely set up thing for what it is. Converter, LS, gas, lightish. And when I came back around, I thought, this feels good. 11.23 at 121. So 11.2 at 121. Significantly faster. Now, people are going to say, oh, but you got your old one down to 11.4 at 118. I did, but that was changing wheels and doing some other little tweaks. Baseline was 11.5 at 116. So we're 0.3 faster, and most importantly, 5 mile an hour faster. So there is more power. So for anybody that tells you the new car doesn't have the power of the old car, they both weigh the same, within 10 kilo or something. It is faster down the deep end. So it traps at a higher speed, and interestingly enough was fractionally quicker off the 60. But again, I had my old bugbear with the Bend of them making a moat that you have to drive through. Like, I couldn't drive around the water, but I'm not using that as an excuse. 11.2 and 121 it was. That was cool. So I got, we were preheating our batteries too, which you do to get optimum performance. And I think the old car, he actually ended up running 11.5 at 115 or near enough 116. So he was exactly the same as my old car. His battery would heat up to about 52, 53 C. Mine would only go to 48 using my sexy knob. There it is. Any comments down below? The new one won't preheat as hard, however, didn't matter. It still did the job. We were running at the same state of charge. We were both pretty much on the money. Now, anybody that tells you, oh, that's rubbish, some guy go, that's rubbish. The old model runs consistent 11.3s at 120. Yeah, not on a CompuLink drag racing timing system off that stupid beam stuff that they use for, you know, sprint events and stuff, maybe. I've run lots of fast cars on that, but for drag racing, there is only one standard, and that's the world recognised timing system, right? So don't even start. If you want to argue that with me in the comments, go ahead, because I take no prisoners. Yeah, so it was pretty cool. Unfortunately, I posted this online on my page, this video up here. I had this run against an XW, tidy car, nice looking thing, obviously had a bit of money spent. And it was real line ball. He was hunting me down and stuff like that. And if you actually look at the times, he was faster than my 11.2.1, I think. And so 11.2 and 121 again. He was faster than me, but he lost because I had a better reaction. And, you know, I'm saying, oh, yeah, raced this guy and more. My car's 50-year-old, mate. You know, and I was, yeah, okay, relax. You know, there's no point. You got a nice car. We're out there to test. We're not out there to make enemies or even friends for that matter. Who cares? Good on you. I like XWs. I'll probably come back and find it's an XY. I'm no real authority on the old boat anchor stuff. But there's some funny stuff there. I'm going back into the pits, and on the way past, people are going, shh. You know, like, oh, you guys are making any noise. But as you did that, the finger just up it went, you know, and then like, lunch is served. Yeah, so look, this lines up with other Highlands. Know a guy in Model 3 Performances, codenamed Highland. Know a guy in the state that is has run his at Willowbank, 11.2, 121. So that's where we are. The plan from here is to get it into the 10s. I reckon I can knock 2.5 tenths off it and add 3 mile an hour to it, and we're done. Fact is, it's not that much slower than the American cars, even though the times don't look like they're that close, but the American cars, even the old ones, even went faster. And I had an American car. It's something to do with us being upside down in this hemisphere. So look, thank you once more for watching Range Anxiety. This is going to be an exciting project, so stay attuned.